Alright, Night of Faithful, what's going down? What's going down YouTube? Snarj49 back with another video. So I seen somebody in the comments of one of my recent videos. This is what I'm gonna start doing on the channel. This kind of came to mind. If you guys have any questions, Engraven Vids kind of does something like this, but if you guys have any type of questions about the NFL, the Niners, just any team in general, it can be from any NFL team in general, leave a comment on any one of my videos. And what I'm going to do is, if I see a comment that I think, or if I see a question that's left in my comments that I think is video worthy, what I'm going to do is make a video about it. So I seen somebody in my comments when I made a video where I thought Nick Foles could land if this off season. Somebody commented on that video and said, "What do you think about where do you think Joe Flacco could land?" I don't know who commented it. I don't know who left a comment or who commented that on my video. But shout out to whoever commented on that video and said where Joe Flacco could go. If you're watching this video, I think the guy is subscribed to me. But if you're watching this video, shout out to you, and make sure you drop a comment so I can pin it. So my subscribers and everybody watching this video knows where this question came from. But so anyways, Joe Flacco, obviously, in my opinion and in my eyes, I think Lamar Jackson will be the future of the Baltimore Ravens. I think he will eventually, I think he's going to take over in Baltimore, and I think he's going to be the quarterback of Baltimore, the starting quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens next season. So that means Joe Flacco will probably get traded. Where could he land up if traded or cut by the Ravens? I don't think they would cut him. I think they would trade him. But if I had to throw out a few teams where I think he could land, in my opinion, I don't see Joe Flacco. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure Joe Flacco is like aging, and I think he's okay. Joe Flacco's 33. So, I don't see him playing as a franchise quarterback for a... Okay, I feel like he's going to be a guy like, in a way, Nick Foles, how Nick Foles' career has been for the remainder of his career. Because I don't think a team's going to make him the franchise quarterback. But where could Joe Flacco land if traded or cut by the Baltimore Ravens? In my opinion, the Miami Dolphins does come to mind. But this is the thing about the Miami Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill, they're expected to move on from Ryan Tannehill. I made a video about that, and there was a report that came out that said the Miami Dolphins are expected to move on from quarterback Ryan Tannehill, which was expected. He's injured prone. And he's not as good. I don't really think he's an average quarterback. I think he's just battled through so many injuries. And I say this in every video where I talk about Ryan Tannehill, but with Ryan Tannehill, when he gets injured, it's never a minor injury. It always ends up a big injury that will impact impact his career playing in the NFL. And that's the downside about Ryan Tannehill, and that's why I kind of feel bad for Ryan Tannehill in a way, but the Dolphins are expected to move on from Ryan Tannehill. So where does that leave the Dolphins? They could really go out and get Joe Flacco. I could see Joe Flacco in Baltimore. I really could. But you could also say the Denver Broncos. But I feel like the Denver Broncos would rather go out and get Nick Foles. Another team that will need a quarterback, Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay is not working. It's not worked for the past few years. Could he go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and kind of, in a way, turn that offense around? Maybe. I don't think Joe Flacco... I think Joe Flacco is like downgrading. I don't think he's upgrading in any way, shape, or form. I think he's aging by the year, and he's not as good as he used to be. And that's why Lamar Jackson's playing. Lamar Jackson has outplayed Joe Flacco this season. 110% outplayed him. Honestly, I don't really know where he could land up. The only team that really comes to mind where I think he could go is the Miami Dolphins. But in a way, I still don't see Joe Flacco ending up at the Miami Dolphins. I don't know, man. I could see him in Denver in a way. I don't really know. But if I had to choose a destination for Joe Flacco, the Miami Dolphins comes to mind. Because I feel like Nick Foles, if Casey Keenum don't produce in Denver this season, I feel like Nick Foles will end up getting picked up by Denver and traded for. So, this is a very good question because will he get signed? Probably. Will he be a franchise quarterback for a team? No. I think he'll be a bridge quarterback at best. I don't really know. This is the thing about Joe Flacco. If he was like 29 years old, I could see him, really in all reality, I could see him like being a franchise quarterback for a team. But he's 33. Next year he'll be 34 by next season. He literally turns 34 in 10 days, January 16th. He'll be 34. I don't know. I feel like he will get picked up by a team, but I just don't know what team. Now, he could get picked up at a backup position. I feel like he could be a backup quarterback to somebody, but he's being a backup quarterback. He's a backup quarterback at the moment in Baltimore, and according to Yahoo Sports, Joe Flacco, on being a backup in the playoffs, he quoted, "It's definitely not the most fun position." So he's gonna go want to play somewhere where he can get a chance of being the starting quarterback somewhere. But will teams out there really give Joe Flacco a shot at being a starting quarterback because of his age, the way he's been playing, and with other quarterbacks possibly going to be on the market as well? Nick Foles is a name that comes to mind. Ryan Tannehill is a name that comes to mind. Yes, Ryan Tannehill has been injured in the past, but he's younger than Joe Flacco. So I feel like Nick Foles and Ryan Tannehill could go before Joe Flacco. Maybe not Ryan Tannehill, but in a way I could see Ryan Tannehill and Nick Foles being picked up by an NFL team before Joe Flacco gets picked up by an NFL team. Joe Flacco to the Miami Dolphins does make sense. But I don't know. That's a very good question. Where could Joe Flacco end up? I can only think of the Miami Dolphins as of right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't see him going to Tampa Bay. I just do not know. Maybe he stays in the division. He stays in the AFC North and goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe. That's because Andy Dalton is not good. Andy Dalton's trash, in my opinion. So could Joe Flacco stay in the AFC North and go to the Cincinnati Bengals? I could see him in a Bengals uniform, and that move to me could make sense. I would say the Cincinnati Bengals or the Miami Dolphins would be the best landing spots for Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco. I could really see him staying in the AFC North and going to the Cincinnati Bengals because I can definitely see Andy Dalton being moved on from by the Cincinnati Bengals within the coming seasons, especially since Marvin Lewis is out in Cincinnati and they're going to bring in a new head coach. So I definitely could see Andy Dalton being out in Cincinnati. So Joe Flacco to the Miami Dolphins or Joe Flacco possibly to the Bengals as of right now, in my opinion. Which makes more sense? Probably Joe Flacco to the Miami Dolphins. But he's turning 34 in 10 days. That's a big factor. And he's not playing like the Joe Flacco the NFL knows or the Joe Flacco the NFL knew. So that's my take. Where do you guys think he could land? My options, Miami, Cincinnati, possibly Tampa Bay, possibly Denver. I don't see him going to Denver, though. But a lot of teams are going to, especially starting with a new head coach, a lot of these NFL teams that are in need of quarterbacks and that are soon to be moving on from their current quarterback at the moment, like Tampa Bay, could possibly move on from Jameis Winston. Dolphins are expected to move on from Ryan Tannehill. Cincinnati could possibly move on from Andy Dalton. Denver Broncos could move on from Case Keenum if Case Keenum doesn't produce this season. There's a lot of teams that could use a quarterback, but are they really going to take a shot at going and getting Joe Flacco at 34? I don't know, because there's more quarterbacks on the market that are younger and that have more potential to play better than Joe Flacco. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the Ravens will keep him? Do you think he'll go to Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Denver, Miami? What else team? I said Miami, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Denver. I thought I said another team. But yeah, let me know in the comments where you guys think Joe Flacco could end up. That's my options for Joe Flacco. Which two teams make the most sense? Probably Cincinnati if they move on from Andy Dalton. But the move that makes most sense right now is the Miami Dolphins. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And with that being said, I'm Niner J49, and as always, go Niners.